What is up, guys? It's Calamity Hatcher coming at you with a brand new podcast, episode 15. I am your host, Calamity Hatcher, and today I am joined by the wonderful
OG Titan. Hello.
And wonderful guest on the show, the lovely
Emma.
And we are here to bring you all the latest fiery conversations and hot topical nerdiness. A lot been going on today. We haven't really, bear in mind this is recorded a week in advance, so you know, a week ago today there was a lot of things going on in one day in terms of gaming.
It was pretty exciting.
But as always, before we get into this extra special gaming based podcast, it's time for the news that will change your life. Infinity War has hit $1.9 billion. Solo has underperformed at the box office, and Disney is blaming Infinity War. X-Men Dark Phoenix has had test screenings for the original cut, and apparently it is goddamn awful. The MCU are getting more team-up movies, and the Power Rangers are rumoured to be getting a reboot. So, firstly, what do you guys think? Infinity War, 1.9 billion. Did we expect anything less?
I was literally just about to say, what did you expect
Exactly.
realistically?
I expected 2.1. I expected it to beat Force Awakens at this point. I mean, it still could. I don't
How
think
much
it
did
will.
Force Awakens make?
It's like 2.84.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
wow.
Literally
No idea.
stupid amounts of money. I think Avatar or Titanic is still. Is it Titanic? Is the top grossing one?
Yeah, I think
So
so.
that's
Yeah.
2.8.
Yeah,
Something
it's,
like that.
it's definitely out there.
This is the thing with the comparison with Infinity War and Force Awakens. That was a continuation from years in advance from the old school Star Wars fans, whereas Iron Man came out in 2008?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Star Wars has had a running fan base for so long, and it's one of those franchises, I suppose, like Marvel in the same sense, transposes a lot of different age groups. You know, Star Wars, kids go see it, parents go and see it, who, went and saw the original ones. And
It helps the fact that they're both run by Disney now, so...
Oh,
Yeah. And with Star Wars especially, considering how, however many years ago it first came out, those people that have grown up with it, and now all the new movies that are coming out, they're going to go see it. If they've got kids, they're going to got them into the series of Star Wars and gone to go see it as well.
Exactly. I mean, when a Star Wars movie comes out, it's been an event so far, I would say. Well, definitely, The Force Awakens was definitely an event when it came out. I remember going to see it with my dad, and it's a tradition we've always had now. When the Star Wars films come out, we go and see them, normally the day of release. It's transposed so many kind of age groups, as you said, and it's funny that we mention that, because next thing on our list is Solo underperforming. Now, I went and saw Solo last night, funny enough, without my father, because he is away. But hopefully by the time this is released, I will have seen it with him, so that'd be cool. But yeah, it's not doing too well. And Disney are just saying, well, Infinity War, Deadpool 2, it's a crammed month.
I still have the exact same comment. What did you expect realistically?
There were so many big name films coming out so close together. It's hard, it's with Infinity War coming out first, especially.
I think it's more of the fact that unless you've seen it, the way you're going to look at it is it didn't need to happen.
Definitely, and that was my thought the entire time watching it yesterday. I was like, do you know what, actually, this is better than I thought it was going to be, because following all the stuff with this movie was supposed to be garbage. This was supposed to be god-awful, and I actually enjoyed myself, mainly because of how it builds the Star Wars universe and a cameo that I will go into in my review, but I'm not going to spoil that right here, because Jesus Christ, it's incredible. I would recommend seeing it. It's not an incredible movie, but
What would you rate
it's fun.
it, though?
I'd give it a 3 out of 5 thermal detonators.
3 out of.
I think that's where I'd rank it.
In comparison to what was the other one, Rogue One, what would, on what kind of scale would you compare them?
I suppose they both didn't need to happen, did they? I don't know, really. I would say they're about equal. I suppose because I was nicely surprised by the little bits I got in this movie. Whereas Rogue One, I think the most badass point of the whole movie, and it's really the only standout bit for me, is the Darth Vader corridor scene type deal.
See, I haven't even seen either of them.
Have you not seen?
I don't really have high hopes for either of them going in.
There is a scene at the end where he rips through. It literally goes into A New Hope. That opening shot from A New Hope in the hallway, and he just when the ships connect and the doors first open, he just goes through people. Like, you've never actually seen Darth Vader do that in a Star Wars movie until that point. It's like full on berserker.
They've got the budget as well.
Yeah.
Literally. So that really worked well. But yeah, I'd put it on about equal pegging. But I will hopefully be doing a review at some point. Maybe we'll see. It's the YouTube game, I guess. Like, oh well, everyone's got their review up. So do people really care about mine? I mean, it's better to just talk about what happened and speculate, I guess. But on to the next one, which again, you're going to say the same thing to me. X-Men Dark Phoenix is said to be a mess.
I'm actually not going to say the same thing, because the classic storyline of the Phoenix was so good and was just such a good, like, piece of thread in the blanket that is the Marvel universe. Yeah. But the fact that it still takes place within the same universe as Apocalypse. Apocalypse did not do well whatsoever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess what did you actually expect? But if they rewrite it, it could be done well. It could be done so well.
Do you remember the butchering of X-Men: The Last Stand when they did it in that? Like the Phoenix thing with Jean. Yeah, when she actually went Phoenix.
Yeah, X-Men 3.
X-Men 3.
Yeah,
right.
I remember.
Apparently there are like 3 different scenes in it, in the new one, that are directly ripped from that, just with Sophie Turner there as the Phoenix instead, basically.
Wait, it's Fox, right?
Yeah.
Well, in the first 3, there was Fox as well.
Yeah.
So
they did like a reboot,
just
didn't they?
really lazy writing. They're just like, it's like, okay, we've already got this clip, so why don't we just use the exact same basis of it, but just put a new face on it?
Apparently Charles gets ripped apart by Jean.
Again.
Thing is,
That's not even what it was in the
That's
original
the
story. Yeah.
Thing is, they know that the series of X-Men films haven't done so well, so you think that they would look at it and go, okay, we need to get this one up.
I don't know. I reckon they've just given up. I reckon they're just like, you know what, we've messed it up. Let's just continue like this.
I think people have come in and said, okay, you know those kind of loose ends that you want to keep going for other films? Close them off, man. This is done. This is done.
Exactly.
Disney are having this. They don't want any of you or anything that we've done. They're rebooting the X-Men. They're rebooting the Fantastic Four.
They're just like, let's do this our way.
Exactly. With both of those films, they're just going to end up completely ruining them. And it's going to have to be a pretty good reboot to save them.
See, I think Marvel, I think they can do it. I just think by the time this deal goes through, you're not going to have had an X-Men movie for about 4 years. You're not going to have had a Deadpool movie for about 3 years. So because for everything with the deal to hash out and then for them to be introduced into the universe, it's at least that, and I'd say probably more than that. Maybe about 5-6 years to come into play. So Marvel could do it, but I think they really have to get around that issue of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, because Hugh Jackman will always be Wolverine to so many people, the same way that Robert Downey Jr. is Tony Stark. And it's like, I don't know how they're going to quite do that, but
it's Hugh Jackman. They'll find a way. They always do. They'll find a way. Like, just look how Logan turned out. Realistically, a lot of people looked down on Logan before it was even done, because they knew that it wasn't going to be done in comparison to the comics. But they still made it such like that. They put a stamp on the entire X-Men universe.
It really, I was one of those people as well. I mean, don't get me wrong, I wanted to see the adamantium melted skeleton on the side of the road. But, it doesn't happen.
Maybe next time.
Maybe next time. Talking of maybe next time, Power Rangers are rumoured to be getting a reboot due to Hasbro purchasing the Power Rangers off Saban for $5.8 billion.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know it was Hasbro.
And Hasbro are now taking back all their properties to lease out to new studios. So Transformers will be getting a reboot. G.I. Joe is getting a kind of maybe reboot / soft reboot. And Power Rangers is coming into play.
See, my main question for this is the fact that it's Hasbro. Is it going to be
Shared universe?
more
is.
child? I was going to say more child friendly.
Yeah.
See, I would love to see a more authentic Transformers comics look, like the cartoons. Something that way, and you can do that in a more family-friendly way, because
rather
really,
than the realistic lips and stuff like that.
That's the thing, yeah, because there are some of the, like, okay, it kind of worked in the first one, but then it just starts getting ridiculous, some of these facial
It's just
features.
Michael Bay showing you where his budget's going realistically.
literally.
It's that and the
Maybe
explosions.
over the top.
If I had any more bloody bombs here, like, it wouldn't be legal, so yeah, let's put some funky faces on these guys. It's ridiculous. But, you know, that's...
In all honesty, this whole reboot idea, it does give me high hopes, because like the story of the original Power Rangers, like being a Power Rangers fan as a child and like growing up with that as a kid, knowing like the story of like the White Ranger and how it was written into the series, they could do, even if they do like an adult twist on that, they could make it so good. If they make it dark, they could actually make it really, really good, because it was actually announced recently that they are doing, I think it was a comic, a new Power Rangers comic that's set in a much darker universe, but it's still like I can't remember his name. The
Tommy Oliver.
Yeah, the one who was the original Green Ranger and White Ranger.
But this is the thing with the Power Rangers. People didn't go and see that movie, so it was gonna get rebooted. But I'm kind of sitting here like, I kind of love that movie.
It wasn't a bad movie. I can see why it needs to get rebooted though. But I know that they wanted to go into the sequel again with introducing the Green Ranger and having a much deeper storyline. But I just feel that the way they executed it wasn't the best way. It was just, I don't know, they could have just done it a lot better.
See, it had a very Breakfast Club feel to me, which really appealed to me in a way, but I guess you have to kind of
know the Breakfast Club.
Yeah, like
if you didn't know anything about the Breakfast Club and went into that, you'd just be like, you're pretty much watching, it's like watching Transformers, but like within the same universe, but just another part of the world.
Yeah, kind of actually. Kind of. And alright, it took too long for them to morph, but the whole, like, you knew what I was waiting for in that movie. I didn't see that movie when it came out, I saw it later when it was on home release. And the entire time, all the trailers were coming out and all that, I was like, I just really want the theme tune to play at one point when they're like in the film, and alright, it was short, but it delivered.
It still gets you excited.
I was literally like dancing in my seat, like yes, here we go. And it was it was great.
So someone who's had like no interest in Power Rangers, from what I have seen, I've always just felt like it's been way too over the top, too over dramatic, too overacting. But your idea of having it in like a dark universe does seem much more interesting.
But this is the thing with that though. Power Rangers was pretty much created by a Japanese company. Think of anime and how over the top it is though. When it was appealing to the Japanese audience, it was doing really well.
Yeah, it's meant to be over the top, but I've always felt like it's just too much to handle.
Fair enough.
Like, I've never been able to like watch it and be like, yeah, this is good. I've always kind of been like, are they like, what is this kind of thing? Like,
weirdly
I know
enough,
a lot of people are probably gonna hate me.
Weirdly enough, I was actually watching, I can't remember what it was, I think it was a Watch Mojo video, and they were talking about the things you didn't know about Power Rangers basically, and probably about 10 years ago when it started to go into like a newer generation, they actually had a brand new team of writers and they got rid of like all of the giant explosions and all of like the screaming and stuff. But I think it was because they were making it more child friendly. I
think the first season was the Japanese actors with just English dub.
Yeah.
But did you ever see the James Van Der Beek dark short he made, like Power Rangers short? I have actually. And if it's done like that, then it could be really good. But this is actually my main question. Is it, like, it hasn't actually been confirmed, but is it going to be the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers though? No idea. No idea.
There's so many that they could go with, do you know what I mean?
Literally, like they've acquired the rights to Power Rangers. So what comes with that's entirely up to them now.
For all
They'll
we know,
probably
they could end up just making it a kids movie and making it with whatever the current generation of Power Rangers is, and then just release it in cinemas.
Yeah,
Because that's what they did when the original Power Rangers movie first came out in the 90s. They actually released it in the cinema.
Yeah, but can't you just see it now? Like, so you've got the Transformers, and then suddenly the G.I. Joe squad need to turn up to help defend the world from Unicron, and then the Power Rangers turn up because Rita Repulsa's with them and stuff like that. Like, it screams cinematic
An
universe to me.
after school special back on like the Fox Kids days.
The Hasbro after school special, kids. But yeah, so that is the news that will change your life. And yeah, let's move on to the main thing today. So there were 3 game trailers dropped today in the space of 24 hours as we're recording this 1 week ago when you're watching this. And the first of which is kind of an exciting one. It's a release for the Nintendo Switch, and I may actually get a Nintendo Switch now. I've said it before and I'm saying it again. Is Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. So we're just gonna, we'll put the trailer up and we're just gonna discuss things and see how it's going on. Ellie, you have not actually seen this yet, have you?
No, I haven't.
That's good. That
This one, yeah.
Close to my heart with the Pokemon Go there.
I love the fact that they put it on the screen that it's simulated effects. In case you don't know.
Pokemon Channel in
I
a
thought
way
it was
of
gonna
having the
be there.
Pikachu run around your house there.
I mean, just
that's
such a step up,
adorable.
like graphically. They're still keeping the aesthetic.
It's kind of like the Pokemon game that you've literally been waiting for to be on consoles. Well, that's what it looks like to me.
This I don't like. I'm sorry. I love Pokemon Go, but I don't want my Pokemon game to be Pokemon
It's
Go.
just Nintendo still trying to keep you active.
Yeah. Stop it. Now this is a cool feature. This I like.
That is really good.
Multiplayer together and catching dynamics.
So, but with that, who would get the Pokemon?
I guess both of you. This. Now I want to know if this integrates with the Pokemon Go Plus at all.
God.
Or with Pokemon Go in general.
I can imagine it would, or with them releasing some sort of a new device to sync up with it and then sync up to your Pokemon Go.
Yeah. I like how it's also a little joystick controller as well, isn't it? This is where they got me. I mean, bang. You can send gifts to people on Pokemon Go. Just outfits and...
I personally see the customization as unnecessary.
Yeah, but it was always going to be
I feel like that's to appeal more to kids because, in my personal opinion,
I mean, just
gotta love the energy.
I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, the customization thing, I would prefer, as weird as this sentence is going to sound.
This right here. I mean, you'll meet a special Pokemon. Yeah, so, what are you guys' general thoughts on it?
I quite like the idea of it. I feel like, obviously with Pokemon Go, when it first came out, there were a lot of stories of kids roaming the streets and just, well, not roaming the streets, but like almost getting hit by cars, hurting themselves, going to places they shouldn't. I feel like this is like an alternative for like kids whose parents might completely stop them from going out and playing Pokemon Go, and it's also kind of just spread it more out to more people who maybe don't want to be playing it on their phones and would rather play it on a console.
Yeah, I mean, well, it seems to me that it's a red and blue, essentially, from the looks of it. Like, in terms of region and all that kind of thing, and Pokemon available. I don't think the Pokemon Go integration is going to be a massive thing. I think it's going to be a short side thing of it. I don't like how they've taken the throwing from Pokemon Go and made that a feature in catching Pokemon. That was never it, man. I threw a ball, I mashed A and B repeatedly until it closed or opened, and then I repeated the process of it opened.
The main issue is this going to make Pokemon Go obsolete?
Yeah, that is also another thing.
Not at all.
Unless
This isn't going to be about going out and catching Pokemon.
I know, but that's exactly what I'm saying. Because they didn't have, like, well, personally, in my opinion, they didn't have like an amazing Pokemon game like they did back in the day, like Emerald, and when they first were out, like Crystal, Silver, and Gold. They didn't. That's why they released Pokemon Go. It was to get those fans back into it.
Yeah.
But with this, they've now, if they make this game good enough, then people are going to stop playing Pokemon Go unless they're going to be like, okay, you know what, I want to catch my Pokemon on Pokemon Go, go back home, and then put my Pokemon on the game. Then you will have those few. But think of how much the fan base for Pokemon Go has gone from, and compared to what it is now.
Well, let me put it this way. I don't like to throw this title around, as you guys know, but you guys know this to be legit. So I am a moderator now. Granted, I have not been active in the Discord for some time. The guys that are running it are lovely, lovely guys. They do an incredible job of organising these people, and I don't even know how many members it's at. It was at like 200 members last time I checked. It's all people in the Harrow area that all play Pokemon Go, and it's still strong. Like they still raid. They're organising raids consistently. They're all getting the legendaries. They're all getting their Mewtwo.
I don't
invites.
doubt that whatsoever.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, obviously it's still strong, but it's not as strong as it was.
Yeah, it's
Think
not
of
as
how
strong as
crazy,
it
like,
was.
you literally couldn't. I remember, like, when the summer that Pokemon Go came out, you couldn't go out of your house and go to a park without seeing other people playing Pokemon Go and running into other people playing Pokemon
Exactly.
Go.
That's
You couldn't
true, now
see
it's some
anything
very
like that didn't
coordinated.
relate to
Exactly.
Pokemon Go. Like, it was
It's true.
everywhere.
Well, I was up in Central the other week when Ho-Oh came out, and funny enough, I stopped playing around the time Ho-Oh came out, and he's come back, and I was like, okay, no, I need it to do the Pokedex. And I was in Central, and I went to this raid. I had 3 other people with me that were all in it, and you just went to the lobby, and it was like 12 people, and I was like, there is nobody here playing Pokemon Go. There is nobody here playing it. These
That's in
spoofers.
Central as well.
Exactly, and it's just like, yeah, okay, cool, get it done. But I think the idea that there's going to be a Pokemon that's exclusive to Pokemon Go through integration with this is enough for me to buy the Switch.
Yeah.
Well, the game itself is enough for me to buy the Switch, but that is just a little cherry that's like, well, no, my Pokedex will not be full if I don't do it. I want to be the very best I know one ever was.
The thing is, now you know that they're just going to expand it as well onto the next generation and then the next
Yeah.
generation, so you'll always be able to keep it up to date.
Yeah, definitely,
But-
but they need to start coming up with generations a bit quicker, in my opinion. Because like, we're already on Gen 3. Gen 4 will probably be end of the year.
Which one's Gem? Oh, that's Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, right?
Yeah,
What generation are they on now?
3.
No, I mean in the current games.
Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald.
No, in the actual.
Oh. Jesus, I don't know. I've really
It was
lost.
like 6.
Maybe isn't a lowland region the latest one?
Is that not 6?
Potentially. I honestly I lose
We will
track.
have to
I
look
lost
into
track
this.
after
That's a
there were keys, mate. Like
We will have
Floating
to look
keys.
into
I feel
this.
like the Pokemon in the newest generation, sometimes you just look at them and you go, like, what are they doing?
Oh, I think it's 7.
Yeah.
Because if Gen 4 was Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, then they released Black and White, which was Gen 5. Then they released X and Y, which was Gen 6. And then Sun and Moon, which was Gen 7.
okay. Yeah, so they're running out of gens.
Maybe eventually they're just going to release 2 gens into Pokemon Go at once.
That'd be quite
I think
cool.
it does seem like they're running out of ideas for Pokemon, and they're just changing old ones slightly.
What do you
To me-
expect
to
though? How
me
long
it
has it
looks
been
like-
running
Yeah,
for though?
exactly.
To me, it looks like a remaster with just added mechanics.
Yeah, literally.
Like
that's
of
what I
red
was
and
thinking.
blue. Like I'm getting it for the fact that it is a 3D realized version of red and blue from the looks of it.
Do you know what it looks like? Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, if that's
Yeah,
the
kinda
right,
have
if that's
that
the right way
aesthetic,
around.
but obviously
But
this
just
is a lot
on a
crisper.
console, yeah, exactly. But just like on an actual console.
I'm excited for it. Like there's been a few titles that have maybe kind of toyed with the idea of getting a Switch, but I think this is the one. This is the one.
I'll still have to see, because you still don't know how this game's going to turn out
Yeah,
though, because has it actually been confirmed that it's going to be within the first region, or because we've
They've only
yeah,
shown stuff in the first
that's
region,
what I'm
we don't
saying.
know.
That's all we've
Imagine it's
seen though.
bigger.
Exactly, that's exactly my point. But also imagine
Just
if
do
it's,
1 and 2. Just
imagine
do
if
1
it's
and 2.
the first region, but like limited, like anything can happen at this point. Like we'll most likely we probably won't get like anything major until like E3 or whatever.
Yeah, I imagine E3 will be the next update on it. But
Exciting times though.
exciting times
What
in
a
the
time
world
to be
of
alive
Yeah,
for
you
the
do,
gaming
like,
community.
You do hope that it does well, but it's hard. It is kind of hard to see like where else Pokemon can go. I feel like sort of they have brought out the older games and put in the newer generations, but I feel like don't know how this would go. But if they were to just bring out the old, like redo the old games, but with the gens that were in that game, so not the newest generations, basically redoing the old games into like newer consoles, newer handheld consoles.
See, this is the
That's
thing
what
for
I'd
me.
like. That's what I'm hoping this is.
For me, I actually like the fact that they put the newer generation in with the old regions, because I think that makes it such a good twist. But I'm not saying that they have to put in the newest
I
generation.
like that they do in the sense that then you can trade up your Pokemon from the older gens. Like if you had link cables, you could have transferred all your Pokemon up from your old gens. So like suddenly on Gold and Silver and Crystal, you'll run around with Mewtwo, and it's just like, yeah, cool. Or if you're like me and you had Blue and you did that little glitch and got Mew as well, you could transfer him across, and it was just like shit.
The way I would do this is because Pokemon didn't really change like dramatically until it hit the 4th gen, so I would have Red, Blue and Yellow, Gold, Silver, Crystal, Emerald, Ruby and Sapphire, all within one region, all of those Pokemon within one region. And then, because obviously they're not done with Pokemon, let's face it, they're going to do another one, then they could put like the next 4 into the next category, and then and so on and so forth.
That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping this is the first of what's to come for Pokemon.
Yeah, literally.
Like, this is Red and Blue. Alright, maybe if it does insanely well 2 years after that, they do like what would be the yellow version, even though you kind of got Pikachu or something like that. But then later, work on it for a few more years, up it, release a Gold and Silver equivalent. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'd like to see that, almost a remaster of each one, but with these new mechanics, with these exciting features, so it's not just like copy and paste.
I feel
upscale.
it would make more sense to start with Gold, Crystal and Silver, because one, you've got that's Johto, right?
Yeah.
That's
Pokemon
you can
Johto.
go from Johto to Kanto on Gold, Crystal,
Yeah,
and Silver,
at the
right?
end of it.
That was the first time that they done that. That would be so easy to put into the game. And then once they expand the game, or because if you remember in the actual in like the old games, even in Emerald, Ruby and Sapphire, you have like certain parts of the map that has like a waterfall and then it's blocked by rocks. So they can easily extend that and then make it one massive region. Do you know what I mean?
That'd be cool.
One thing that I've just actually had this thought, now that they're putting Pokemon games like back onto console, because I can't remember the last time I saw a Pokemon game, whether it was like a side one, like Pokemon Channel or something like that, Pokemon Snap. But I think it was on like GameCube.
Even Detective Pikachu.
Yeah,
when did that
Detective
come out?
Pikachu. I'm not too sure.
There's a
There could be
couple
new
of
one
there's
as
a
well,
couple of
you
ones that have like slipped under the radar.
Yeah, that's
So
there's
then-
no big.
But that's
big
because they're
ones.
like all appealing to. Well, personally, I don't really watch TV, so I don't see the trailers for them. But
Yeah, that's
I get
true.
like
You
my
don't really see
nephews
much
and
of-
stuff telling me about all of these
Yeah.
like Pokemon
And
games
even
that are
just
coming out that I've never heard
even
of.
just on social networks and like YouTube and stuff like that, there's not much advertising.
Yeah, exactly.
But what I feel like this would be a good opportunity to do is bring out more games like that, and I feel like a really good one to start off with would be Pokemon Stadium. That was on N64.
Yeah,
with
I
the
think
newer gens.
the thing is, I
Because
think
that was such an
Pokken
amazing game. It's like
It was, yeah.
tournaments, and then you had the multiplayer function of it, which I absolutely loved playing as a kid. It was absolutely one of my favourite games, and maybe even another chance to bring back Pokemon Snap, because again, that was such a fun game.
Pokemon
That
Snap was
was
really cool.
brought- It was
It was
brought
brought
back.
back.
It was put onto the Wii.
Well, yeah.
Well, Pokken Tournament is kind of considered, I think, the spiritual successor.
Unfortunately,
Pokemon
though,
Stadium.
I mean,
Yeah. What was Pokemon Colosseum on the
GameCube?
That was awesome as well. I think it's also, kind of considered the spiritual successor to that.
they need to do the Lugia. Gale Winds. You know the game?
Oh my god,
Something
with
like
the Dark
that?
Lugia as well. That was a
They need
strange
to
game.
redo that though. That would be really good.
It wasn't bad.
Obviously, there was no Colosseum, but
No,
Colosseum was like Pokemon meets Final Fantasy.
literally. They need to do that. Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, right now it just feels like Pokemon are really slowly focusing on the whole Pokemon Go thing. Like the new game brought out, it's still kind of relying on Pokemon Go, and I feel like doing that, if they continue to rely on it, it could not ruin them, but it might not be the
Yeah,
best move. They
I
should
get
try
that.
and branch out. Now that, like I said, they're back on console, they should think about rehashing some old games or bringing in new ideas.
I don't even think it's necessarily that they're relying on Pokemon Go. I think that Pokemon Go is relying on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because think about it, you've got this game, you're spending all your hours on it, right? And then you're like, well, I'm going to go outside. You're addicted to Pokemon at that point, it's all you're playing. And you're like, I'm going to go to the shops. Eventually, if you know there's some sort of integration, you're going to be like, well, it's a free app, but like all I've got to do is have it open while I walk around and just do what I do. Yeah, well, yeah, I'm used to the throw mechanic by now from doing it in the game. Like, it would just, I think it's more the idea that Pokemon are now, well, the Pokemon company are probably looking at Niantic and Pokemon Go and thinking, right, how can we
Keep this alive.
Yeah,
keep
keep
this
this
candle
going
burning.
because we are running out of ideas with it, and it's like, okay, well, if we could get more of like the core player base in, if they got special features out of doing it and stuff like that, and it's like, okay, so remember in the old games, how in Red and Blue, how you got Dratini at the game corner,
Yeah.
like that was a pain in the arse at times. Well, it's
But
fine.
in
I was
all
fine.
honesty-
I could just walk up the River Thames for a couple hours, catch a load of Dratinis, send them over to my Pokemon game when I get home, and then just be like, okay, right, let's work with this.
I don't mean to sound like an old man, but that's the kind of stuff that I miss. I don't mean to be like, oh, wow, back in my day, that's not how we got a Dratini. But that's the kind of stuff, it's those small little Easter eggs that I feel with that made the Pokemon games what they were, though, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do understand that. I know. I'm really interested to see how IVs in Pokemon Go are going to correlate to EVs and IVs in Pokemon. They're like in Pokemon Let's Go, because like they don't correlate as it currently stands. They might have to restructure the whole Pokemon Go battle system, and that I'm kind of welcome towards.
It really all depends on how they're gonna see like competitive people are actually gonna be. Because again, like even like back in the day, like on like the Game Boy Color when they first came out, people didn't care about like that kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then once as Pokemon got more and more advanced, when it started hitting like Gen 4, Gen 5, people were really getting more into it. And with Pokemon Go, obviously, people are going crazy over the different stats and whatnot. But if they actually end up aiming it towards a younger audience, they may not even put that into the game so much. They may not even make it as intricate as it is in Pokemon Go.
Yeah, that's very true. Well, all right, we've talked about the ones. Let's talk about my boy. That's my boy. Now, Sega today released a reveal trailer for Team Sonic Racing. It's been known amongst the Sonic community for some time a Sonic Racing game was coming due to a logo that was released where all of it was darked out except one corner with a red kind of flick on it, and then just an R that was dimly lit in the middle that looked like the one from Sonic Racing before. It's going to be a new kart game, so we're going to watch this trailer. This is a very, very short cinematic trailer, but fam girl and me is getting goosebumps for this one. I love how they don't even put the Sega logo anymore. They're like, you know who we are. Yeah, we do, unfortunately.
The cinematic graphics are actually really good.
Yeah. Loving the music. Come on, let's get another fist bump out of this game. I mean, sold. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not. They don't need nothing else to get me. He's in it. But yeah, I'm getting that.
Something that actually caught my attention, which I didn't realise before, that it's actually going to be on pretty much all platforms, which I think is actually quite interesting. Because, well, with games like Fortnite being as popular as they are right now, could it actually be cross-platform? If it doesn't take a tremendous amount to run smoothly, it fully could be cross-platform if it's gotten online.
I don't have faith in Sega to have good servers.
It doesn't need to have, like, I don't mean that it's going to be a great way to do it. I don't even mean that it's going to run smoothly whatsoever, but it does leave a possibility though.
I'd like to see it, it'd be cool. I mean, you know I'm going to play the hell out of this game. I'm weird with games, like, well no, I guess you're the same, but we're different in the games we choose.
Yeah.
In the sense that we don't browse a lot of games, we pick the game that we want to play at that time and we get on it.
We're pretty much fussy.
But then we own our fucking fields.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, me on my Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite hype. I say this, if Axie is listening, I'm sorry, I know you would absolutely wipe the floor with me, but man's getting good, you know, my Zero is sick.
You're gonna have to awesome. Start uploading some gameplay of it.
Oh, it's coming soon. Proof. It's coming soon. It's coming soon. Like everything is coming soon. When life is not in the way, more stuff will come. No, more stuff is coming soon, guys. You know, it's all fun and games. But the Sonic trailer. I mean, did you guys play Sonic All Stars Racing Transformed or Sega All Stars Racing Transformed?
Don't
Wait,
actually think so.
Sega All Stars Racing, did that have the Monkey Ball characters in it as well? What was that on?
PlayStation 3, Xbox 360.
I may have played it briefly, but like I've got like flashing images in my head, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I played it, but I don't remember it like whatsoever.
Genuinely, like, and this isn't just me in my little blue corner. This is like generally by critics, it's well received. They're both well received racers. Like,
I remember All Star Racing doing pretty well.
I had a lot of fun with it, and now this kind of looks like it's been the similar vein. There are a few screenshots that were released as well, no actual gameplay, but it looks beautiful.
It's just enough to build the hype in it.
Yeah. And
I think it's gonna have been done well.
Sonic fans will buy it. Like, at this point, I don't know who Sega are trying to appeal to, because they're not new markets. Well, kinda. You see kids playing these games. A lot of kids bought Forces, but the main people you're selling to are your fan base, and they're going to eat it up.
Let me ask you, as a Sonic
and
fan,
hate it.
Who is the audience of Sonic Boom?
Well, you're going to have to be more specific in that question.
The TV series.
Oh, right.
Or actually, no, as a whole.
No, because they're two separate things. They really are two separate things.
But I mean, like, say if you were to lump them both together, who would you say in general would be is a fan of Sonic? Because I know that there are certain parts of the series that you like. There's certain parts of the comics you like. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, what type of Sonic fan? Or what type of person in general? Are they
Age rating, mainly.
Oh. I would say the ages of about 6 to 12 years old. Probably. I mean, it's trash in that sense. When you combine the two together, it's trash. You put Sonic Boom, the game, near anything and it's trash. Like.
Then I think that is going to be the primary audience of the racing game until we get more. Obviously, we're going to get more. But even I feel that the Sonic fans that are a fan of the running about and the jumping about in Sonic won't go for it because of the fact that it's a racing game. Do you know what I mean?
Essentially, I mean, a lot of talk in the community today was that people were really, really hoping for a new Riders title.
Yeah.
And they didn't get that. People were really, really gunning for that.
Well, this is a way to kick them while they're down then, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there's been mixed reactions so far. There's been a lot of positivity and a bit of negativity as well. The confirmed playable characters so far are Sonic, Shadow, Knuckles, Tails, and Eggpawn. No confirmation of Eggman and Amy yet, but
you know that they're going to
be there. There's going to be about 20 characters, I believe. You can bet it'll be people like Silver, Blaze,
not
Big
including
Cat.
DLC.
Yeah, DLC. I think there will be Infinite at some point.
They are kind of limited for characters though, like obviously with Mario Kart it's completely different.
Yeah,
because Mario Kart eventually they just done a massive crossover with like all of the Nintendo characters.
Games. So I feel like they were trying to expand on Sonic Races. Like, would it just be different costumes for them and not really much else?
This is the thing. I had the exact same thought, but then I thought to myself, even in Mario Kart, they only have a certain amount of main characters. Like they only have, like then they started putting in a bunch of side characters that people didn't really care about, like the shy guy, the enemies, and like if you do the same with Sonic, you could easily do that with just like the different bots that are made by Eggman. Do you know what I mean?
Different enemies come across Metal Sonic, Chaos.
Exactly, they could actually extend it quite far.
Exactly.
They just need to get a bunch of crappy characters that no one cares about, basically.
I just want to sync up their comics and their games, because pull some stuff out of the comics and it'd be great. Some great people in there. You could have like world-ending people in there, in a little car, go for a race.
They'd have to change like their entire element then. Yeah. But maybe that's like the kick in the arse that they need.
You know what Infinite needs to ride? A motorcycle made out of his cubes.
That would actually be pretty
That
good.
are constantly shifting.
I was picturing
and his
like a
theme tune needs
massive.
to come on whenever he's near you. Like,
I was picturing like a massive like silver and white bike with like his helmet right on the front of it with like a crack on the front, and that's gonna be like the one headlight that's sticking out.
I feel like even I'm picturing almost like a not Tron style bike, but like proper like laying
Yeah,
down,
that's what I was
almost
picturing
laid
as well.
out flat to try
Kind
and
of
ride
like
it.
what's her name, Rosina? Rosalina, yeah, in Mario Galaxy.
Yeah.
well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
that's the thing.
topic.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, they've got my money. You know, you do Sega. Let's not mess around here. But just give me some qualityness. You know, like I enjoyed Sonic Forces. I will still say this. There are a lot of people that were in the Sonic community that bashed me for saying this. I enjoyed it. Like, it's not a great game, but I know that it was kind of hastily put together, and I don't know how hastily this has been put together. It does kind of seem to come out of nowhere, but with a racing game, I suppose that's not that much of an issue.
For all we know, this could be what they've been working on, like on the side since.
Yeah,
working
because
on-
there have been rumours,
Was
haven't there?
before Forces? Was it Mania that was before Forces?
Yeah, but that actually wasn't Sonic Team. That was Christian Whitehead.
Which is why it worked so well.
Yeah. So we'll go on to our next trailer, which is for Fallout 76, which was released at the end of today, 1 week ago. Well, that's it. I'm paying money.
That's literally every fan of Bethesda's
Literally.
game.
Exactly.
It's like,
You just need to see that, please.
Greatest game ever made. It's actually quite a beautiful song in this trailer. To point out.
That's such a Fallout feel, though. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's totally
Well, the vault logo's all over the bed though, that's strange. How has this man, this little man, survived the ages? How many nuclear fallouts has he survived through his imagery?
What, as in Pip-Boy himself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a use of this song.
Yeah. Like, even though it's still upbeat, it still fills you with that loneliness that is Fallout.
Yeah, right, that's such a good way to put it. Already it's just like, I'm related to this guy.
Exactly.
See, now, like, this is my only issue with this. are we not just repeating the same kind of as before? I know it's a different time period. I get that, but
See,
guy puts on his Pip-Boy and off he goes with out of his vault.
See, this is the
Probably
thing.
some corruption in the vault.
Fallout 4, right? This is the interesting thing about this. Fallout 4, before the main character gets frozen, that takes place in, what was this? 76. So he gets frozen in 77. So that takes place 1 year before he gets frozen. So it's just like, that's going to be, obviously they're going to have a similar trailer because that's set literally the year before Fallout 4 is set, until they go into the actual atomic wasteland later on in the game, basically.
With Fallout 4, doesn't it start with, I'm not too well known on the whole Fallout story, but I know Fallout 4 is, obviously they got the shelter ready, haven't they? They've got the Fallout shelter ready. So,
What, the vaults?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
if
the
it's
people
set
will
a
put
year,
into the vaults.
so if it's set a year before and they're in the vaults,
But this is the thing. We don't know if this is going to be set on how do I put this? We don't know if this is going to be set within the same area or even like the same island or the same country.
That's true.
So it could be a completely different vault for all we know, because it's from playing like Fallout 4 recently. It's not the vault that you start off in. It's not the vault that you go down into at the beginning of the game. It looks like it's done on a much bigger scale, in all honesty.
Well, from what we know, I mean, it's only a cinematic trailer. It doesn't really show us a lot in terms of what it's going to actually contain.
But E3 though.
But I mean, E3 is coming around the corner. I guess my problem with Fallout 4 was within like an hour and 20 minutes, I had 3 sets of power armor.
Yeah,
mainly because I'd looked up where like ones were within that first hour.
Could you still take out like the strongest bosses in that armor at a low level though?
I don't play like that though. I don't go after the big guys.
No. Okay, fair enough. I was gonna say, if you go to get like a strong enough power armor and then go against the big enough bosses, you have to force yourself to level up. Otherwise, you can't build the stronger power armors. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I'm like it's saving like my Kingdom Hearts, my Final Fantasy. I'm like, no, farm on the minions. XP. Let's go. Let's get leveled up. Let's go do this shit.
With Fallout, it's a different kind of playthrough though.
Yeah,
I mean,
unless
you're comparing it to Skyrim, obviously, because obviously both Bethesda.
Yeah.
But where you
Oh
can
my god, Bethesda are making this. Oh my god, I'm buying it.
But yeah, obviously you can just go off and just level up all of your individual traits and stuff. Well, assuming that they're even going to have the same format as the other Fallout games. It could be completely different for all we know.
Yeah.
So like, it can be hard to see where they're going to go with this. 'Cause obviously, they don't want to just rehash the same kind of ideas of going out, trying to following this story, farming and stuff. Like, obviously, what I think could be a good idea is if they would have to kind of continue on from the storyline with 4, but finding out like more kind of what happened during the time that the character in that game was frozen. Obviously, like.
See, I was looking into this. What I have read is that it doesn't actually tie into 4 necessarily from what they've released so far. So it's most likely going to be like a completely separate storyline, and then with whatever game they're going to have further down the line, possibly called Fallout 5, could intertwine the 2 storylines basically.
I'm gonna call a little thing now. I'm not sure when this game's exactly coming out, but I'm gonna call a little thing right now that you are some way wrapped up in how the nukes fall.
What do you mean, like a Wolfenstein kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because when does the Fallout happens in 76, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think that's
You're gonna be wrapped up in the plot of how that happens.
I don't know. I'd have to look into it. Due to the fact that obviously you've got like Fallout 1, 2 and 3 as well.
Yeah.
Then New Vegas and all the different storylines. I'm not actually sure what the chronological order is.
Yeah.
But what actually excites me the most about that trailer is when I'm watching it it gave me the same feel that like BioShock Infinite gave me.
I get that.
Where it's just like you've watched the game develop from something so tiny, so small, but it was so amazing when it first came out. It's just it's if you're a Fallout fan, it's gonna get you excited.
Is there a BioShock Infinite PS4 port?
I think so. I think it's on the PlayStation Store.
Might have to be something I'll look into.
Dude, that'd be sick.
This is brought back to memories of that now. But yeah, those are the kind of big trailers we've got.
Sorry, it's on PlayStation now.
Oh god, no, my internet connection can't handle PlayStation Now. It does its best with Netflix.
I feel like it got a remaster though. I really feel like it. I'm pretty sure it was re-released on. I'm pretty sure it was re-released on PS4.
I've got a feeling.
There's a few of those now that I need to get my hands on. Devil May Cry.
Oh, the re-releases.
The re-release.
Yeah.
Not DMC.
DMC's still a good game.
It is. It was too short.
Yeah.
Far too short.
They should just redo 1, 2, 3, and 4, but on in like 60 FPS.
Whoa. I was with my cousin, fellow YouTuber, streamer and gamer, Luke Spectral. I'll put his channel in the description. I was with him last weekend, and we were talking about we were playing Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite a little bit, and he was kind of like on this basis of like, oh, Dante, oh, okay, awesome, oh yeah, but why does he look like that? Why does he look like the DMC one? And I was just like,
I didn't even know that they had it as.
There's a you can put a costume on him.
Oh,
so you can put a DMC one, but I was just like, no, you're wrong. No, no. Dante is white haired. That has the red coat, not the black coat.
Wasn't DMC written as a prequel though?
It was like
prequel
soft reboot.
Where he first gets his white hair, or how they wanted to do it anyway.
Like him getting his white hair is him. Like again, can't remember the storyline too well. It's him guessing like.
It was the spider, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Inside of him, but not that anyone was actually walking away from Devil May Cry 4 and being like, I wonder how Dante's hair's white.
Yeah, and yet when.
That's very true.
I remember
very
being
true.
up and up, being like, no, it's not Dante. He hasn't got his white hair. It's just like.
This is what the gaming industry do to the community. Like people can say that the community is toxic, but it's the gaming industry's fault, realistically.
Well, like I said, I never played much of the Devil May Cry games. Even I knew that, like, you know, out about Dante's head, even though it's such a small bit. Like, so many people got into such an uproar about it.
It didn't bother me. It's like if they changed, like, okay, no, that was going to be a bad example. I was going to say if they changed the color of Mario's hat, but if they added like something onto like Mario's design, are people going to complain? No, because it's Mario. They continuously expand it.
No, don't bank on that, man. Don't bank on that.
Wait for it.
I've seen the pages.
Wait for it. Mario Odyssey, as an example.
That's a very good example.
Or even Mario Galaxy, having all of the different costumes, they're constantly adding to it, but people don't be like, oh no, this isn't like the original Mario. Why are they putting all of these costumes? It's because it doesn't necessarily make the game better. People just need to let go of the fact that change needs to happen sometimes.
Exactly.
Yeah, but people don't like change.
I know, that's the biggest problem, especially within the gaming community again.
With Mario, I feel like they have always been able to keep the kind of classic Mario feel to it in a way. Even if it's just like small things here and there, while we able to...
Yeah, subtle little tweaks that kind of open new dimensions of it.
I don't know.
Like in Odyssey's case, it sticks to that core Mario, but then there's just these quirky little features that just add new kind of areas of Mario you've never really gone to before.
But think about this though, if they didn't put the ability, like the segments of Mario Odyssey where it actually turns into the two-dimensional mode, if they didn't put that in, and then you put the very first Mario game next to Mario Odyssey, they are nothing alike. They are literally nothing alike.
That's very, very true. Yeah, it has changed drastically, but I feel it always kind of remains to the core of that character. And I don't know if there's a video that Dunkey mentions something about it, where he says in like it's in his Sonic Forces video, funny enough, he talks about it, and he says like there's in all Mario games, Mario is at the center of the screen.
Oh
he's at the center of the action, and that way it's so transferable. But he said there are other games, I think he mentions like Super Mario Party or something like that, and he's like, which just doesn't work because they completely changed that and you're going all around the screen.
Super Mario Party.
I'm not sure if it was Super Mario Party. That's off the top of my head.
I am telling you now, we are going to do a playthrough of that game. That game
Oh
is
my God.
phenomenal.
It is amazing.
It is so good, especially if you actually have 4 players to play it with. It'll be so perfect to do a video on. I'm telling you now.
But I'm not allowed
It's
to
so
allowed
good.
to like Mario really.
How dare you?
Rolling around at the speed
Oh,
of
God.
sound.
This is the thing, though. This is the main difference between Sonic and Mario. Even with Mario Odyssey, with whatever hate it actually got, it still will continue to grow and it will still continue to absolutely dominate the market.
Yeah.
Whereas Sonic, unfortunately, continues to die.
They build it like,
Pretty
that's fine
Unless
with Sonic, they
unless
build-
the new racing game actually absolutely saves it, it would have to be incredible. It would have to be
Exactly.
absolutely flawless.
Honestly, Sega's future is in remasters, and they just need to like fully be like, okay, right, here's what we do. Sonic Team, you lot go and remaster the old games. Christian Whitehead, you come in and do the new ones. The guy who did Mania.
Yeah.
And it's like done. Like, get the remasters coming out. They're what people want. They're what people have been crying out for. Get them out. Make the money on that so you're on a good platform, and then put the money properly into a good title for several years.
They'd only need about 4 titles as well. Adventures 2, Heroes, and Riders. That's literally all they need to remaster, unless...
People want... What else do people want? There are some of us, a very rare few, that want a Shadow remaster.
Okay, yeah, I didn't actually think about that.
There are some of us that want an Unleashed remaster.
Oh god, no.
There are some of us.
So
There are some
unnecessary.
of us. Literally 2% of us that I am in the wants an 06 remaster.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Because do it fucking properly. Do it properly. Get the bugs out. Get the glitches
Okay.
out. And make
Sonic
can
Unleashed
do
I
that,
will give you,
foundations.
but only if they take out all of the Unleashed
Warehouse
parts.
stuff, yeah.
All of the Unleashed parts and just have Sonic. Sonic Wii remastered. That's what they do, and then don't actually release it on the Wii.
See, with me and Sonic, what I've always found it is, while I might have different storylines, it is still just a case of pushing the joystick forward and pressing A every now and then.
That's
It's
the
hard
thing.
to
Yeah.
actually get
That's what's
into the
different
story
about
and
Adventures and
gameplay.
Adventures 2.
That's the guy. I haven't like Mitty, I can't talk about the new ones. I haven't played any of them. Like one of the main ones I played was Sonic Adventures 2, and I mainly played that for the Chow Garden.
Yeah. I mean, if you played Forces, I don't think you'd have the best opinion. And let's be perfectly honest with you. Hey, I'm going to do that at some point. I'm going to bring the PlayStation 4 over, I'm going to chuck a controller in your hand and just like, go. Experience. I mean, you played it.
Yeah. A little bit.
I mean, what's one of,
It wasn't a tremendous amount.
I mean, what's the name of
really
the
speak
Sonic
highly
game
of
that's
it.
come on the Switch? The Sonic game?
Mania.
Mania. Yeah, I mean, I played 2-player with that.
That's
I
really
mean,
good.
The 2-player in it is horrible. Like.
Did you not like it?
No, the second character, if you're Tails, you're just spending most of the time like not doing anything because they automatically making you catch up to Sonic, who's halfway across the map and you can't do anything.
Because you got
the
these
same
you
as like the old days.
You
No.
can't do anything. It's like
You got
it's
to
like,
you got to spin dash at the same time, do all the loops. Then you got to get your Sonic and you got to press triangle and you got to get your tails to grab you and fly you over shit and then you fly
So
So
across the map.
basically, you have to be to like Sonic Mania. You have to play it with someone that loves it as much as you do.
pretty much.
the thing is, it won't work because
Me
Tails
and
is
you.
not as fast as Sonic. That's,
Yeah, no, I
like,
do
so
get
Sonic would
that.
be spinning ahead and Tails is there.
Spin dash is the same speed, isn't it?
Spinning
Both the
his
spin
tails,
dashes.
trying to get.
Yeah,
trying
if
to
you're
catch
spin
up to
dashing
him.
and
If you
hitting
spin
the
dash
speed
at the same
piece at the
speed,
same
well,
time, it
but,
won't
like,
make a difference.
You both just got to max it out. Do you know what I mean? Spamming
Yeah.
it and then bang.
I just found it wasn't
You're
enjoyable.
another
It was like
perfecto.
it was like on Mario Galaxy. It was like the Mario Galaxy 2 player
Collecting
where
the stars
collecting and
around
shooting
it.
the stars.
Yeah, but it's
I'll
not going to
show
stop you
you-
from playing the 2-player, is it though?
Like, I'll bring it over at some point and play the one player on it because it's like it's genuinely like the most beautiful Sonic game ever made.
We'll definitely
I'm
give it a
telling Sonic
try.
Adventures 2, you said that.
Dude, if you've seen Sonic Adventures 2 these days, it doesn't age well.
Yeah, I know.
None of them do.
Unless you only play it for the Chow Garden.
Fuck the Chow Garden, make it an app.
I was having this conversation with my sisters and my cousins. Like we all maybe played it for the Chow Garden, and one of my cousins hadn't even like heard of Sonic Adventure 2, but when we explained the Child Garden to him, he said he'd much rather play that.
See, it was a fun feature at the time, but whenever I do a playthrough now, I just completely abandon the Child Garden. I don't have anything to do with it. I'm just like, no, story.
Yeah, what
God,
kind
they
of
could
content
easily
is
make
it?
it the main game, where in the main game you collect stuff for the Child Garden.
No, it annoyed me. I had to go back there every time. Oh, drop off your items.
Realistically, it's just a Tamagotchi within a Sonic game.
And on that note,
What
I
happened to
think,
Tamagotchi?
do you know what? On that, I think that's a good way to close it. I think that's a great
like
point to end it on. But yeah, this has been podcast 15, Calamity Hatcher. Thank you guys for checking this out. I am your host, Calamity, joined by my wonderful friends.
OG Titan.
And Emma.
Thank you guys very much for coming on. Thank you guys to everyone, everyone that's listened to this. OG Titan, your channel, you know there'll be a link in the description. You know it's there.
YouTube.com/OG Titan. Like, share, and subscribe.
Full plug. Plug some more. Let's see the plug out.
Always plug. Always plug.
Always plug in. Emma, anything to plug?
Not really.
Fair enough.
Continue supporting these guys and their channels and their content.
Thank you. What have I got to plug? New stuff's coming. I mean, this is a week ahead, so things are probably out by then. But as OG mentioned, there's got to be a Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite video up soon, and a few other bits. So yeah, it's all gonna be coming down. If you want some of the hottest, softest merch in the game, it's not, but there is a snapback. And yeah, if people want snapbacks, there's a range of colours and stuff we can do. Just hit me up in the comments, let me know, drop me a Facebook message, whatever, we'll have fun with it. But yeah, this has been this week's podcast. Thank you to everyone checking out. Thanks for you guys for joining me, and we will catch you next time, because that's what it takes to be infinite. We'll see you guys soon.